Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I have Ankit Choxi on the line, Dr. Ankit Choxi and Dr. Jared Mait. They are co-founders and lead physicians over at STEMS Health Regenerative Medicine in Miami Beach. Ankit, Jared, welcome to the show.
Greetings.
Thanks for having us, Adam.
All right, so I've been waiting to get you guys on here for a while now. I come out to Miami pretty often. I actually happen to be recording this one from Miami today. I've been down here for a bit, and we have a nice, thriving community, both in the wellness area, longevity, a lot of different areas. So I'm excited to start collaborating more in this area. So glad to have you both on. And I want to get into, of course, we're going to talk about STEMS Health Regenerative Medicine and what you're doing in Miami Beach. And just regenerative therapies in general, and how you guys got into that focus of medicine. But just to get us kicked off here, let's start with this episode the way that we start them all, with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Ankit, Jared, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, for executives, for thought leaders out there, for people that we feel need to be heard and should be heard. That's our mission. What missions matter to you?
Yeah, so I would say, Adam, my mission is to be a thought leader in the field of regenerative medicine and to be able to provide cutting edge medical technologies and precision targeted therapies to our patients.
Hmm.
In addition to that, just a general goal of our practice is to grow and build an ethical medical practice with integrity.
Yeah.
My mission is the same. No, my mission is to, to wake up every morning and live life with purpose. And, my purpose way back when I started, working as a physician was to be able to provide individuals with an incredible access to an honest physician, great service, and fantastic treatments, and get people, patients what they need in a timely fashion with respect and honor. And, every day it's easy to live out that mission when you have a business partner, co-founder like Dr. Choxi. And, it's great that we're able to provide this type of service and see a lot of our patients doing well and thriving when they have so many options out there. But, thanks for having us on today so that we can kind of talk more to your audience and let them know they have other options and what we do.
Thank you for sharing that. And I love bringing mission-based individuals. I also like bringing really skilled individuals, people that were in school for a long, long time for their professions, that even went out to become entrepreneurs like yourself. So when you think about co-founders and founding an office and having an idea and launching it, it's exciting, but it's a lot of work. A lot of entrepreneurs that listen to this channel. So I'm curious, how did you two meet? Where'd this business partnership, or where'd all that take place?
We met in the hospital one day. We were in residency together.
No way. And how'd you know you're going to be with each other? That's cool.
Yeah, we were in the foxhole together, and when you're there, you kind of see the person at their most vulnerable, scared and open-minded to learning and trying to see how they live out their mission. It took a long time to get into medical school, through high school, college, and then through med school, and then aligning ourselves at the practice of anesthesia, and then just became best friends. And sometimes that doesn't make good partnerships, but I think in this circumstance it's worked out.
Yeah, I mean, we met now 13 years ago, and
wow,
our mindset was the same in many ways, not only in taking care of patients in medicine, but also our pursuit to do something different in life than just kind of traditional workforce medicine, and be able to offer patients and friends and family and whoever it is, access to top level healthcare. And then it became opportunity for us to grow together as business partners.
Now, did you both, and was this kind of like an evolution for both of you in terms of going the direction of regenerative therapies, or how did that piece of it kind of come together? Because obviously with your skill set, a lot of different routes you could have went to, a lot of different types of medicine you can practice. How did you both start going in that direction?
Yeah, so my background's in interventional pain management, board certified in anesthesia and pain management, and I myself have been a patient as well. I've had significant low back pain. I've been through injections, physical therapy, And at some point, I just realized, there has to be more that I can offer for myself and to my patients other than just traditional medicine that we think of: cortisone injections, physical therapy, and surgery. And, now 3, 4 years ago, I kind of went down the rabbit hole of alternative therapies and came to learn more about stem cells, PRP, platelet-rich plasma, exosomes as regenerative therapies, and just kind of did a deep dive and learned, wow, there's a lot more out there that the rest of the world is really leading the charge on. And, unfortunately, the U.S. is catching up slowly, but not quite to the level of other countries. And so very proud to be able to offer these therapies to our patients now, trying to keep them away from surgical interventions and get them not only feeling better, but also better for the long term and making sure the pain and symptoms don't come back.
And go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, we started in the same place, in anesthesia. Dr. Choxi went a route where he went more into interventional pain and treated 20-something thousand patients by this point.
Wow. That's a busy day's work. You said 20. Wow, that's amazing. Go ahead, please.
Credibility to the man.
I've only done 6,000 interviews on Keith, so that means I'm slipping. I'm trying to catch up to your patient record. My patients are only in the 6,000 range. Go ahead.
That's right. That's right. So his route went that way. I went left, and I started a concierge medicine practice and went.
Interesting.
Understanding more about functional medicine and group-based, analysis of disease states and understanding what things will add to longevity and, promoting the process of being a healthy human being. And through that, I started to see more and more regenerative technologies come up through the pipeline, whether they be in peptides or in anti-aging and hormone replacement. But then we started to see things with exosomes and pain treatments with stem cells. And Dr. Choxi and I one day sat down and we had a conversation about how we should be able to offer this in a very concierge fashion, in a very bespoke way, with his incredible skills and my knowledge also with regenerative technologies and functional medicine to provide this very comprehensive care system for pain management and anti-aging.
And I want to, I do want to get into, we're going to get into the therapies. We're going to get into maybe some of the things that are offered. But before we do that, I'm kind of curious on when you were deciding to launch and kind of go in this direction. What was it like bringing both your, and this is just for more of the entrepreneurial side of individuals out there, a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to this, a lot of executives. What was it like bringing both of your skill sets together and obviously complementing each other and then coming up with the idea and ultimately the launch of your practice together as co-founders? What was that like?
I would say it was relatively seamless. I think we had a common mission. We knew that we had to learn to walk before we could run, and we went slow. And so a lot of things just with time came into place as we went, rather than trying to force a business or a practice together. And so I think
it was kind of very authentic, huh? The way it kind of grew together. Am I off on that?
Yeah, very organic. We did.
Yeah, organic. That's the word I was looking for.
Let things organically kind of grow and fall into place. And still to this day, I think it's the same thing. We just, new opportunities come, new service lines within the practice, and just kind of let it organically present itself and not worry.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, I think a lot of businesses early on take on capital. They take investor capital or, whether they take out a small business loan. And I think there's a lot of pressure to make certain types of decisions or to start making revenue really quickly, or even to employ that capital into expenses they don't need. And, Dr. Choxi and I made the decision to bootstrap the business from the start. And we had, a relatively good network of referrals. And so we were able to get going in a very, I think, intelligent fashion where there was no pressure. There was just the ability to build the business, add the different team members, add the services, make sure that we're working with the very best suppliers, that we're working in, great facilities. So I think that we just took everything in stride so that, we laid our foundation right so that we have, a good business now.
Yeah. Let's go further into maybe some of the things that you actually offer at STEMS Health Regenerative Medicine. So let's go into maybe some of the practice areas.
Yeah, our focus is on regenerative therapies, like I mentioned. So we offer, products that we use for different therapies. And so I'd say our main focus right now is on orthopedic injury or sports injuries. So we do a lot of interventions or injections for spine and joints. using products like platelet-rich plasma, PRP, stem cells, and exosomes. We also offer cosmetic therapies with those products for facial rejuvenation, hair restoration for men and women, as well as a full offering of different products Dr. Mait can get into with more on the wellness, health and wellness side as well.
Yeah, so we also, I mean, right now everybody's about anti-aging and longevity, and from our perspective, the idea of healthy aging means healthy being today. Giving your body what it needs to be able to carry out its physiological processes properly. And so, providing proper nutrition, proper hydration, proper supplementation, peptide therapies, and, different types of IV infusions as well that we know can assist with promotion of healthy cells and healthy, biomechanics of the body.
Yeah. When does a patient normally come to you? Like, take me through that journey a little bit. Like, so if somebody's watching this or thinking about it, maybe they haven't used other types of therapies like what we've been talking about. How does somebody normally find out about you? I'm curious.
So a lot of our patients, we have two main sources. We get a lot of referrals, which is, it's very honoring that different physicians and different, sports medicine doctors will send their patients to us as a referral source and say, hey, we have a patient that has this type of injury. Is something that you could consult on or treat? And then our other method, we get a lot of inbound leads through the internet. I mean, more and more individuals are searching for their own healthcare and not asking for referrals from other doctors, but they're going directly to Google or other search engines, or even Perplexity or ChatGPT, and asking, hey, who does this in my neighborhood? And because of the number of reviews that we've had and great reports, patients have had great access to us. So typically the journey, and I'll let Dr. Choxi talk about this, but usually starts with a phone call, and we have a great inbound lead team who's been doing this for many, many years. Some people who have worked in stem cell centers, stem cell banking, they're very fluent in the practice of stem cells and regenerative medicine, that take inbound calls, understanding who the patient is, what they're looking for, is it a treatment that we do? And then usually we set up an appointment for one of us to consult with the patient and understand what is it that's going on. Do we need to order additional imaging? Do we need to review their imaging? And then, determine the next steps.
I would say when we first started this practice and our practice in general, we quickly realized that we live in Miami, Florida, a city very focused on health, on well-being and longevity. And so, we have a lot of patients who seek us out just based on what they hear from the internet articles they read, influencing they're traveling abroad for stem cell therapies, which I think promotes them to seek out the best-in-class services local to them. A lot of our patients come in pain, unfortunately for them. And I don't know if you've ever had pain symptoms, but when you're in pain, you're looking for something to fix you quickly. You're going to every opportunity there is, whether that's talking to friends, your physicians, or online and finding people close to you to take care of you. And so we really pride ourselves on when someone calls, we make sure we kind of give them that white glove service to make sure that from the start to finish they're taken care of. And like I said, I've been in pain myself. I understand how agonizing it can be day to day, and that empathy really helps us relate to the patient and make sure they're taken care of properly.
Yeah. When and you mentioned, of course, you're in Miami Beach. Talk a little bit about doing business in Florida and the Florida law, and maybe why the state's so competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can't speak to other states, but Florida law, I mean, they certainly encourage us to be entrepreneurial. They give us a lot of support in doing so, specifically to all businesses, specifically to medicine and now stem cell therapy. Florida, starting July 1st, legalized the use of stem cells in the state of Florida for citizens, which is, there's one other state in the U.S., Utah, who's done that before, but Florida, I think, is quickly realizing that this is the new trend in healthcare, in what patients and citizens of the country, and not only Florida, want. And they realize that this can be a tremendous boon to the state in terms of just medical tourism. We were doing this long before they did that, but we fully support that legislation. I think it's going to help us tremendously and going to help our patients and people who need access to care. And we'll see Miami specifically, but all of Florida turn into a pretty big medical tourism hub for the entire world. I think Central, South America, Europe, a lot of people will come here for their healthcare, having access to these, higher level therapies.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me. It's like, and it seems obvious after it's done. And I know there's a lot of thought that goes into that. That's why I asked that question, because I'm like, you can see the trend, what's going to happen next, and for them to be like pioneers in that, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. So both of you've been in this space for a long time. I'm curious, what kind of excites both of you? Like, it could be with therapies, I don't know, peptides, hormone treatments. It could be specific, but I don't want to put those words in your mouth. But what excites you when you wake up in the morning, you're thinking about new things, new ways to help people? Like, what gets you fired up?
Yeah, man, I think from my perspective, I get really excited about objective evidence for diagnosis. To understand, is there a test that can help us uncover what's going on? In all of our patients, we do total body MRIs, something that was probably thought of conceptually a decade ago, but now, there's different companies out there that have sprouted up. Being able to objectively look at someone's body in 1 hour scan from head to pelvis to be able to make diagnosis of even like a herniated disc or a compressed nerve, or even having an adrenal tumor. And very in-depth lab testing to be able to detect cancer, like molecular testing. So the advancements in technology that have come about from a diagnostic and screening standpoint, it's fantastic, and it's very exciting to be able to offer these things as screening methods and early detection for patients.
From one of the things that really excites me is just wake up every morning having the opportunity to know I can get patients out of pain. A lot of people struggle with pain and don't even know there's options out there for them. And knowing that they come to me and we have tremendous options to get them feeling better and kind of just restore form and function and get them moving. And then more so than that, I think we're very much in the infancy of this, but I do believe there's a paradigm shift coming in medicine where we're moving away from a lot of traditional treatments. And I think a lot of patients are taking ownership of their health more now than ever before, and realizing they're not just held hostage to what insurance companies kind of dictate. Insurance companies dictate their care. And so knowing that Dr. Mait and I are kind of helping to lead that charge, offering services to patients, giving them as much education, giving them time to sit down and speak to them and letting them take ownership of their care, their health and well-being for the future. I think that's tremendous. And we see it every day, patients and more willing to make the investment into their health, which is great.
It's almost like it was a revolution that happened after COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of people realized, I want to live. It's like we went into our little cocoons and we came out and everybody wanted to travel and see the world. But I think we saw like a real blossoming in longevity and healthcare, and individuals, like Dr. Choxi said, taking matters into their own hands and going online and searching out for functional medicine doctors and looking for regenerative technologies and saying, I commit to getting myself out of pain. People flying to Panama or to Mexico or to the islands to be able to receive, a treatment. Now they don't have to because they can come to Miami and get it, but saying, I want to be healthy again. And it's pretty exciting to be on that it took real sickness for people to realize that they truly want to live a life. So I think we're living in like this golden age of healthcare with AI and advanced technology, quantum computing, and different types of technologies. I think that we're going to have some age-old questions answered very soon. And I think this is the beginning of technologies that are going to be treating diseases that have been very hard to treat for a very long time.
Healthcare revolution. I like that.
I like it too. That might be the title of this episode, man. So this next question, I'm not asking you to give, of course, specific medical advice. You'd have to see somebody, you have to, questions, things like that. But I am asking you to kind of think about it as somebody approaches what you're talking about right now from a mindset standpoint. So somebody's either watching this or they're researching, they're online, they're thinking like they're awakened to this healthcare revolution. And it's like, I dropped that in there. So, and they're going about their research. what are some of the questions they should be asking themselves as they're looking for providers for different things, or even evaluating new methods, considering they're not doctors, of course? How should their mindset be around this as they start like looking?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, Dr. Mait alluded to it earlier, but we really pride ourselves on bespoke or tailored treatment. So the first thing is every patient is different. So if you find someone who's offering you treatments without doing a full evaluation, reviewing medical diagnostics like labs or imaging, you should really kind of be cautious about that. In terms of questions they should be asking, really, it's experience of the providers, how long they've been in the field, how many patients we've treated, success stories, patient testimonials, Google reviews, whatever it is, to really, get some confidence in the clinic providers that they're seeing. I would say, unfortunately for many people, stem cell and regenerative therapies are still self-pay service, and so they will have to make the investment into it. And then I think another aspect is the patient should feel confident that the team that they're working with is not only going to be there for the procedure, but the aftercare as well. And what we really do well, I think, is making sure that once the patient leaves the procedure, we still are very close follow-up with the patient. So we're getting to the appropriate post-procedural therapies, providers, everything we need to do, and really hold their hand through that process.
Yeah, and I would say that, time matters. It's easy to start a business sometimes. It's hard to stay in business. The majority of businesses will fail after the first year, and you've probably seen entrepreneurs come on in the past that aren't around later. I think choosing a practice that's not starting to do this, but has been doing this for years, critical. I mean, you're not buying a new toy, right? You're investing in there. And so you really want to do your homework and understanding that the physicians that you're working with are well-versed, are not trying to sell you on something, that are truly trying to understand what it is that you're going through and not trying to push you down a product that they're trying to sell to you. Has a team in place that assists in all parts of the process, so that you do have a care team, someone that you can reach out to with questions, you can reach out to follow up. We go out of our way to make sure that our patients are going to physical therapy. We help establish appointments for physical therapy to make sure that both pre-care and post-care, that they're getting the outcomes that we hope they should be getting. So, it's really critical that the company and the people in the company have been doing this for some time, not just a new business and they hired some random people to staff it. But, we are not only the founders, but we also are the doctors, even in that which we are doing.
And just to add to that, I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say charlatans, but people, there's a lot of people selling stem cell products.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah, you can say it. It's a thing. People know that. Go ahead. That's why I asked the question, by the way. I want people to not go the wrong route the first time and then think something doesn't work when maybe it was just the people they were with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's Miami, right? We live in Miami. It's sunny skies with shady people. Someone told me that one time ago. It holds true in every aspect of business, but really question what products they're using, what research they've done for the products, have they used these products for friends and family, and really, dig deep into, making sure the right products are being used on them.
Yeah. Well, Ankit, Jared, I tell you, it's been great having you on the show today and learning more about STEM's health, regenerative medicine, and you're again in Miami Beach. That being said, I mean, what's next? What's next for you two? What's next for the practice?
I'm going to dinner.
Awesome.
I'm very excited with the new legislation to come in and see how the market in Miami and Florida in general grows, and very excited to be a part of that, and hopefully continue to grow and add more pieces to our practice and be able to provide the best for our patients.
Yeah,
we're really excited. We're actually in the talks of building out a new wellness center right now, where we're going to be doing these procedures and building out a lab to make sure that all the treatments that are given are just the best possible. Using hyperbaric oxygen tanks as well for regenerative purposes and recovery and acceleration of healing. So there's just, as we get larger, we get to do more things for our patients and continue to provide them with those services that are so beneficial to them for their healing, and to carry out our mission, because our mission matters too. And that's really to give them the best in care and it's really exciting. We hope to be able to, have someone come on your podcast one time and say, you know what, I saw your last podcast with Stem.
Yeah.
To see them, and they actually solved my pain. That would be really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. And it'll happen. It does. It's a small world, and it's interesting how people find each other. So I'm not worried at all. That's going to happen. And that being said, guys, if somebody's watching or listening to this, and if they do want to follow up and they want to connect and maybe they want to come in for a consultation or otherwise, how do they do that?
Well, the easiest way is they could probably go into Google and type in STEMS Health. You should be able to come up first. But if they want to type in our long address, it's stems-health.com. To find us, they can search us by either of our names, Dr. Choxi or Dr. Mait, or they can give us a call.
Yeah, it's not many of us in Miami Beach, so it should be easy to find for them, and happy to give them the best care possible.
Awesome. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over and check it out, STEMS Health. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new experiences to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Akit, Jared, man, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Adam.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having us.